Tell me, and I forget. Teach me, and I remember. Involve me, and I learn. What should we take from this quote? Well, that in order to learn, people need to be involved. Hi everyone, my name is Manon. I hope you are ready to enjoy the last day of the Odoo experience. Today, during this session, I will show you how to easily create a great course using the e-learning app in Odoo. So here you have the QR code to ask any questions, so do not hesitate. Okay, so as a business, you probably already face that situation. You organize a meeting with your colleague, or you prepare an onboarding for newcomers where you're going to share valuable information, data, maybe some specific processes. And you expect people to learn those information, right? To retain them. But in the end, how much of that information has been retained by people? Well, that's when the e-learning app comes into play. Why? Because thanks to the e-learning app, you will be able to transfer that knowledge, to share those important information. And that transfer can be done internally with your colleagues, but also with the world. You will also be able to assess the fact that, indeed, people have learned something. They have retained the information that you expect them to. But more than that, the e-learning app allows you to create engagement among the community, among the participants, so that they can exchange between each other, they can ask questions, and they can interact with each other. Okay, so before diving into the demonstration and showing you how to do that, let's go over some of the key highlights of the application. Well, first, you're going to be able to use different type of content. So you can share a document, an article, maybe pictures or videos. So you can reuse all the content that you have already created. Another cool feature is the fact that you have prerequisites. Maybe you have different types of course. You have a basic one and a more advanced one. And you want people to complete the advanced course and first if they've done the basic one first, right? Makes sense. You can do that with Odoo because you have access to prerequisites. Another cool feature is the fact that you can choose an enroll policy. So maybe you want to share your content with everyone for free, or maybe you do not want to share it for free. So you have the option to make it on payment. Some of the cool feature is around gamification. Why? Because remember, I mentioned the fact that you want to assess the fact that people have learned something. Well, you're going to be able to create certification to make sure that people have retained the information. You will also be able to motivate people by using ranks and badges so that they can get motivated in their learning curves. Finally, some other cool features are the fact that you will be able to have a forum to create engagements among the participants so that they can ask each other questions, they can help each other out. And because you also want to continuously improve, you will be able to gather feedback on the course that you have just shared. Okay, so those are the highlights. Now let's go see into the database how this looks like. Okay, so I'm in my database, and today we're going to create a course from A to Z together. So let's go into the e-learning app. So here you see I already have some courses that are present. Let's create a new one together. So I'm going to talk about marketing, and we're going to do the basics of marketing together. So let's type in the title, and we're going to add some tags so that people on your website will know what this course is about. So we're going to say that it's a basic one, and we're going to do a quiz because we want people to be tested. Okay, so let's add some content. But first, I'm going to add some sections because I want my course to be structured. So we're going to talk about some theory on marketing. We're going to talk about marketing channels. And in the end, we're going to add a quiz. Okay, so now I have my structure. Let's add some content. Okay, when you add the content, obviously, you're going to add a title. So we're going to talk about some theory of marketing. And we're going to choose the content type. So one of the highlights I mentioned, we're going to choose the different type of content we want. Here, I'm going to select a document. And based on the type you are selecting, you will have different options. So for example, here, I'm going to allow the download of my document so that participant can retrieve the information afterwards. And you're going to upload it from your computer. So let's save and create a new content. And here, we're going to talk about theory, more on data marketing. And here, I'm going to add a different type of content because I have already prepared a video beforehand and I want to reuse that. So let's go quickly pick up the URL of my video and I'm going to copy paste it here. And you see here in the duration, Odoo is pretty smart because it detects automatically how long it's going to take for people to see that video. Okay, let's save and close this. And we're going to reorganize them under the correct section. So let's go under the theory on marketing. Okay, now let's add some content for the marketing channels. So we're going to talk about SMS and WhatsApp. We're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about email marketing. Which, by the way, are all channels that you can use in Odoo. So let's save and close this and drop the quiz below. Okay, So you see how quick that was? Obviously, you have created your content beforehand, and you are able to upload it very quickly. So let's go further and add a description so that on the website, people will know what this course is about. So I have prepared it here. Let's copy paste that here. And now let's go into some options. So in the option, you will see one of the multiple of the highlights that I mentioned, the fact that there is a prerequisite. So here, this course is the basics of marketing, so it's not going to be a prerequisite because I want everyone to be able to access it. Then you have the show course to. It means that once your course is published, who can see that there is a new course available online? Well, it can be everyone. It can be only the people that are signed in on your website, or it can be course attendees, and in this case, you need to invite people. Here, I'm going to say that it's everyone because I want everyone to be able to discover the basics of marketing. And then you have the second option, which is the enroll policy. Here, the difference is the enroll policy is who can enroll in the course. So where show course 2 is who can see that there's a new course, the enroll policy is who can enroll in it. So it can be open, anyone can join the course. It can be on invitation, and then people have to be invited, obviously. Or one of the highlights that I mentioned, it can be on payments. And when you select it, you have a product that appears that you can configure as you can configure any product in Odoo. So here, let's say that it's going to be open because once again, I want everyone to be able to discover the basics of marketing. In the communication, we find the other highlights that I mentioned. The fact that I'm going to allow reviews because I want people to tell me what my if my course was okay, and I'm going to add the forum so that people can talk about what they've learned. Okay, let's save this. Great. So now let's see what this looks like on my website. So you go here into the Smart button, and we see that the course is not published yet, but you have an overview of what it's going to look like. So to publish your course, you have different options. You can use a little toggle here that will publish the course, but you still have to publish the content. And here to do that, we're going to go back into the content. And here you find all the content that you have created. So let's go into the list view. Let's filter on the basics of marketing, and we're going to select all the course, all the content, sorry, and we're going to publish it all at once. So it's really a cool feature because it's really flexible. It means that whenever you have a course, you can add easily new content over time. You can delete content, you can modify them. You can really decide what you want people to see on your website. Okay, so here all my content is published. Let's go to the website and see what it looks like. Let's open my theory of marketing, and you see here we have the document that I've presented. We have the video that will start automatically, and we have the section that we can find. What's also interesting is, let's go and exit this. You can see when I exit the screen, obviously you have access to the blocks of the website, so you can add other blocks on top of your content. So for example, I could add a text at the bottom to add some more information. So you have access to all the blocks of the website. You can fully customize and decide what you want your page to look like, but I'm not going to go into too much detail into that because I have some web designer colleagues that will do that way better than me. But know that it's a possibility. Okay, so this is the basics of marketing. Now let's go back into my course and see some other feature. So when I go into the advanced marketing, now I can say, I'm going to go into the option and say that there is a prerequisite to access this course. It's going to be obviously the basics of marketing. So let's save that. And here, the advanced marketing, I have made it on payment because I do not want everyone to have access to it. So I have my product and I'll be able to sell it. Okay, so I'm in the basics of marketing. Remember, I mentioned that we're going to do a quiz. So let's do that. And you see, even if my course is published, I can still add some stuff. So what title should I do? Let's test your knowledge. And I'm going to select the type quiz. Okay. So here, once again, Odoo is pretty smart. You know, it directs you to the quiz section. Here you will find two information, the points rewards, because remember, gamification, we want people to be motivated to learn. And here you can give them points if they get everything correctly on the first try. And obviously, the more they try, the less points they get. And we're going to be able to add some questions. So let's add, what is the goal? What is the goal of SEO, for example? So let's add the different answers. So it can be to increase visibility in search engine results. It could be manipulating search engine results, or it can be to gain instant results. So I hope you know the answer. The answer is the first one, so to increase the visibility. So I'm going to check that box that says that this is the correct answer. Let's save and close this. And you can add as many questions as you want, but here we're not going to do just one. So let's save and close this. And you see, once again, the rest of my content is published, but not the quiz. So we're going to do the same. We're going to go here on the website, select the quiz, open it, and then use the little toggle here to publish it. And now it's published. So I have the rest of my course, I have my section, and I can do my quiz. So let's test it out. Yay, I gain 10 points. Okay, now, beside the quiz, you can do certification. So I've prepared a certification for advanced marketing that you see here. You're going to be able, it's the same logic as the quiz. So you're going to be able to add as many questions as you want. You just have more answer types. So you can add multiple choice with only one answer, with multiple answer. You can add date, time, and so on. And you will add also, when you ask a question, you can add a score. Why? Because it's a certification. So here I have a question already. It's a certification, and I'm going to give points so that people can get points and pass the certification. So when you go into the option, you can obviously choose the layout of your quiz and of your certification, sorry. And here you see that there is a scoring, and the required score to pass the certification is 70%, because I want people to really have learned the information and make sure that they have retained that information, so that you can add score. And once again, my certification is linked to my course. So let's go back here. You see, I have the certification. It's already published. OK, great. So now let's go onto the website and see what this all looks like when you are someone new. So I'm going to log out and go into my course. So obviously, as I mentioned, you will have access to all the tools in the website. So you are able to change everything. So the pictures, the colors, and so on. And here you see the courses that are published. So we have the basics of marketing. We have the advanced marketing with a little certification. When I open the basics of marketing, remember this one is open to everyone and everyone can see it. So everyone can see the course. We can see that there are the contents that we've created, and you still have to join the course. Why? Because that's the only way we're going to be able to keep track of the points that you are getting, of the fact that you are following the course. So let's do that. Let's join the course, and we're going to log in my case. So yeah, so many passwords to remember. That's fine. But once you are logged in, you can easily see the content. But that's fine, because we're going to see the advanced marketing one. So here you see two elements. You see that we have the prerequisite that is mentioned, the basics of marketing, so that directs you automatically to the course. And you also have the fact that it's a payment course, so we have to add it to the cart. So let's do that. I have my course. Obviously, as I mentioned, you can set up your product as you want. Here, it's not too expensive, so we're going to buy it. So do not copy those details, because that's a fake card. We're going to buy the course so that we are able to access it. Yay! So my payment has been successfully proceeded, and now I can start the learning. And once again, I have to register, because that's how I'm going to be able to follow the course, the content, and to enter, and to get badges and ranks. So let's do that. Okay. So yeah, now I am enrolled in the course, and I can follow all the different courses and even take the certification. So let's begin that. And I have the different question. Obviously here, only one question. And I have 100% on my certification. Okay, so now we've seen basically everything. So we've created a basic course on marketing. We've seen the highlights, so the prerequisites, and so on. We've seen that you can publish new course, new content, and be flexible with the publication that you are doing. You can add new content whenever you want. You can delete them. You can add quiz, certification. And we did that in less than 15 minutes. So really easy to do, guys. And yeah, I think it's time for Q&A if you have any questions.
Thank you, Manon, for that wonderful demonstration. We have indeed a few questions for you.
Okay.
First of all, is it possible to change the name of the levels and the badge?
Yes, obviously. So the levels and the badges, as I mentioned, is part of gamification, so to motivate people. And to do that, it's linked to the website, so you can easily change them in the configuration. You see, you have the ranks, the badges. So you obviously have some that have already been created by Odoo, but you can easily change them or create new badges. So really simple to do. You see here we have the ranks, so you can add your own ranks. You can add the points that are needed for those. Really simple.
Is it possible to also insert different kind of videos than YouTube in the content of the courses?
Yeah. So remember when I created my content, I added here a video, which was a YouTube video, but you can also add other sources, such as Vimeo, for example. Yeah.
Does it work well on mobile for Odoo community?
That's a good question. Define, does it work well? Well, I mean, it depends on what you are expecting, but like what the layout, what is it, the design, or creating the course in itself on the mobile?
The Odoo community version is less responsive than the
Yeah.
Odoo enterprise one. That's one fact, but it is available for the Odoo community, I guess. All right. For courses that need users to log in,
Yeah.
is this tied to Odoo backend user login?
Wait, you mean so people need to have access to Odoo to? No, it's not linked. No, they can just create their account to access the e-learning, but it's not linked to the Odoo access.
What is available in Odoo 14 from what you showed?
Ooh. Well, that's a good question. I think the person that has that question can come see us at the marketing booth, because right now I couldn't say.
And I invite them to my talk for the Odoo upgrades at 14 hour.
That
well.
too.
How do you set minus point in the certification, like with the Odoo one?
Minus points. So you want people to get less point if they have wrong answers? Okay. So to do that in the certification, it's mostly so when you are in. Let me check. So you have to decide to give points to the correct answer, but I don't think it's possible. I will still need to check to give minus points. Normally it's only the positive one, if I can say. But yeah, once again, I will check more into detail, but I'm not sure it's possible yet to do that.
Okay. Does it need to be published to the website? I want to do it for an onboarding of new colleagues that are already in Odoo.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's better to publish it on the website, because otherwise people won't be able to join the course.
Okay. Is it possible to help someone when they give the wrong answers, like in live?
Yeah. In the quiz or in certification, you can add, so for example, in the quiz, let me check. You can add a description. You can add also. So here you have different options. So you could help people out with a hint, for example. Yeah, if they get the wrong one.
Okay. Is it possible to have face-to-face learning by having connectivity to, say, Teams or Zooms or other kind of video conference?
So kind of live courses. No, that's not possible yet, but that's a good feedback that we will take into account.
All right. Is it possible to track the time spent on a video to make sure that they listen to the video before they do the certification?
So when you do, for example, in the content, when you add a video, you want to make sure that people have fully done the video.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm not sure it's the case, but I will check that out. And yeah, once again, the person can come see us at the booth. I will be able to test it out.
Okay. At which booth will you be?
We are at the marketing booth, so in the hall 7, at the end of the hall.
All right. When to do a knowledge article and when to do a course? What are the best practices for internal knowledge transfer?
That's a good question. Yeah. So knowledge is mostly, I would say, directed to internal use. So if you want to put information for your colleagues and internally, whereas the e-learning app, it's really broader. The perspective is broader, so you can obviously share it with your colleague and outside. And I would say the difference is that in knowledge, well, people are going to read stuff in the e-learning app because you have the quizzes, you have the certification, you have different types of content. You are able to, it's really a different kind of, how can I say, yeah,
purpose.
Yeah, the purpose is not the same, and also the way they're gonna learn is not the same. So I think it really depends on the use case, but you will have more flexibility with the e-learning app than in the knowledge one.
Okay. Can we download Prezi video? I don't know if you know that. Prezi video?
I'm not sure. We have to check. I know so YouTube, Vimeo, and I think there was another one, but Prezi, I'm not sure.
Okay, me neither. Is it possible to put a YouTube video in private and publish it on my e-learning in a paid version? I don't want customer to find it on YouTube for free.
Okay, well,
That's more like
yeah, I think that's
YouTube.
more linked to YouTube, because obviously you can put you can host your video on YouTube and then put the link into the app. But yeah, it's mostly related to YouTube and the access. I would say the properties of your video on YouTube.
Perfect. And one last question for you. What would be your favorite new feature of the e-learning and why?
Oh, that's a tough question. I would say maybe I'm not sure it's a new one, but the prerequisite one is really important because most of the time people just go into the e-learnings and they see different types of scores and they tend to do click, click, click super fast so that they can avoid doing the training. With the prerequisite, you make sure that your colleagues, the trainers, new people need to do the logical steps before moving on forward. So it's kind of making sure that they have learned in the correct order. So yeah, I would say that's my favorite feature.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Manon.
You're welcome. Thank you.